Back in the 1980s, the world was fascinated by sci-fi, horror and the action movie genre. But the decade also had a massive horn for all things Conan the Barbarian. Released in 1982, Conan the Barbarian was an epic tale of revenge set in medieval times. It was also Arnold Schwarzenegger's breakout role. After its release, it spawned a sequel and a number of knockoff titles such as The Barbarians, Barbarian Queen, The Beastmaster, and many more. Everyone was attempting to cash in on this craze of swords and sorcery. It even spawned one of the biggest cartoons of the decade, He-Man. Metal bands especially all adapted the look and theme for their music videos and album covers. Manowar had a roided up warlord with long hair on their Kings of Metal album. Thor was in fact a roided up warlord with long hair, who also folded frying pans. And Halloween had the Keeper of the Seven Keys. It was all things strength, power and wisdom, and people bought into it. But in 1989, a video game named Golden Axe came out for the Sega Mega Drive, and for the first time, a player could now truly immerse themselves in a world just like Conan's. Every Sega owner could now crush their enemies, see them driven before them, and hear the lamentations of their women. This game also came out in the arcade, and there was also a version for Sega's 8-bit console, the Sega Master System. Golden Axe let you play out that fantasy of being a barbaric, sword-slashing, axe-wielding, magic-casting warrior. Set in the land of Uria, Death Adder and his army of skeletons, warlords, tan-in-bed freaks and scantily clad right-said Fred-looking dudes are laying waste to the towns and villages of the land, and it's up to you, and if you have an extra controller, a friend, to banish these lunatics along with their axe-wielding psycho friends, fire-breathing dragons and chicken legs. Yeah, that's actually what this thing is called apparently. Every pathway, village and town you pass through you must hack and slash your way to victory, battling your way through a number of stages. You have to rescue the king and queen and stop the evil Death Adder from using the Golden Axe. In Golden Axe you get a choice of 3 characters. A buff long-haired dude in blue speedos named Axe Battler, whose main weapon ironically isn't an axe. A dwarf that looks more like a garden gnome named Gilius Thunderhead, and a female Amazonian in a red bikini by the name of Tyrus Flare. They all pretty much play the same, but as weird as this sounds, each character feels like they play a little differently. When I was a kid, Tyrus was always my go-to because she had the most magic slots. Axe Battler is similar to Tyrus but with less magic slots. But really, it's better to go with the garden gnome. Even though he can't carry much magic, he feels more natural to battle with. He also uses an axe, which makes me feel powerful. Plus, the game is called Golden Axe, so let's use him, right? The controls are simple. The Sega Mega Drive controller only had 3 buttons and a start button. It's not really that complicated. The A button is your magic, the B button is your hack and slash, and C is your jump. The game also gave you some special attacks. Double pressing the directionals and then pressing B allowed you to headbutt enemies. Pressing C and then B gave you a jump attack. There's also a special attack you can use by pressing B, C and a direction together all at once. Magic bombs are collected by these shifty looking smurf looking lads who drop them on the levels, and they build up in your life meter. Depending on who you pick and how much magic you collect determines how powerful your magic attack will be. Gameplay wise, the first couple of stages are easy enough, and battering the absolute bejesus out of everyone feels so satisfying. But as soon as you start running into skeletons, that's when you start running into problems. Skeletons are stupidly strong, and if you're not careful they can take 2 meters of life off you in one hit. And if you get caught between 2 skeletons, forget about it. It's so easy to get ganged up on as well if you're not careful. It's also far too easy to fall or get pushed into the cracks and gaps of the game. But the good thing about this is that your enemies are also vulnerable to the same pitfalls that you are. The difficulty of this game is easy, but it's also hard. It all depends on how you look at it really. I mean, it's pretty easy to make your way to the end of the game provided you have enough life and continues. But it's pretty hard and pretty much next to impossible to go through the entire game without taking a single hit. Never in all my 36 years on this planet have I been able to get through this game without using a continue. Now I'm not a speedrunner or an expert, but I am reasonably good at this game, and yet I've still never been able to do this. By default you get 3 meters of life, 3 lives and a couple of continues. But unless you're a ninja master at this game, you're gonna need all of it and then some. There is a dual mode where you can practice and perfect your skills, and you do have the option of extending your life meter in the options menu, which I encourage you to do if you're a first time player. There's also ways of conserving your life. For example, you don't have to fight everyone. You can use little tricks to survive. For example, at this location you can trick enemies into running off the level, and there are lots of places in the game where you can do stuff like this, so take advantage. Golden Axe is a short, sweet and extremely enjoyable game with strong replay value that you can play with a friend. No matter how old I get, no matter what new glossy game comes out for the latest console, I still find myself coming back to this game time and time again. And if you haven't played it before, go check it out. Golden Axe had a number of sequels across many platforms, but for me, the first game is where it's at. In my opinion, it's the best hack and slash game the Mega Drive has to offer, and I think I'm going to leave it here for this one, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a like, leave me a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more from me. This has been Golden Axe, Sega's best hack and slash by Richie Kearns Productions. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.